there was an unsealing of documents in South Florida
Oh,
related to the Jeffrey Epstein case, the sweetheart deal, where basically Epstein spent weekends in jail or no weekdays in jail and would get out on nights and weekends. There were some horrifying instances of terrible behavior in that, but I mean, most pertinent, I suppose.
Wasn't he like still getting massages and also sex stuff with children
Yeah, he was like
while he was in jail? He's like, I
like,
gotta
there was a
go.
lot of
How
sex
will I?
stuff.
he was like
How will I
getting
have
out of
pedophile
jail
stuff?
and then going to do more pedophile shit. But more pertinent than that, I won't say more important necessarily, but more pertinent to the political realm is the fact that Donald Trump was mentioned in these documents numerous times. He's in numerous call logs of Jeffrey Epstein's. And there was also some information suggesting that the Trump made underage girls perform sexual acts on each other as well as himself. I don't understand how this information hasn't made its way to the.
Okay,
Oh, that's right. They're too busy covering Biden's.
You say that, D, but something that stood out to me in that was it said abnormal sexual acts. That stood out to me in that. And so I was like, what the fuck was he making these fucking little girls do?
It's some weird, creepy
Because
shit.
not just sexual acts, but it said abnormal sexual acts.
I'm picturing like Joffrey Baratheon had he survived into adulthood. Did you? It's a Game of Thrones reference.
No,
Maybe you guys didn't.
Oh,
but
okay.
like,
No, I get it, Carol. I watched GOT.
Never mind.
But
I
yeah,
just,
but
I don't think
that
I've
made
ever
me-
heard anyone refer to Trump as King Joffrey.
Oh,
And
I
now
have.
once he has absolute power.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can have a red wedding for Trump before the election and make sure we put that to rest. But
As long as it's an official act.
no, it's extraordinarily weird that we have all this information that Trump is a certified pedophile, and yet like the media coverage on that is zilch. It's so weird.
No, the media coverage is, but the debate. That's pretty much it.
So we haven't recorded since the occurrence of the debate. I think at this point you understand my position on that. If you follow me on Twitter, Biden it wasn't a great debate performance, but you know who had a worse debate performance? Trump, by far. And I know this because I know people who watched it, and I watched a gazillion black people on the internet listen to, well, unlike what the media did, they actually listened to what Trump said. And they were like, hey, this shit was fucking insane. And we spent the entire weekend lighting his ass up. But yet the media is consumed with President Biden because they were like, oh, his debate performance was so poor, just totally ignoring the incessant lies of Trump and all the incessant racism.
I think they also ignore that right after the debate, his ass was dabbing up, and that was a strong dude was like, I ain't gonna lie, it was a strong dab. Like when he went to the Waffle House, and then he flies to fucking Raleigh Airport, and he's greeting supporters.
Before you even get to that part, like Biden held another rally after the debate, perfectly fine. Held another rally the next day, crushed it. Like this obsession over the debate performance to the total exclusion of all the other evidence that says the debate performance was an outlier is beyond me.
Did you read? I did today that, and it was like captured. I think Newsweek had printed, said or whatever, that he told Jill, he's like, I don't know what happened, Jill. I don't feel okay. And even before the debate, and I'm not trying to conspiratorialize or reckless speculation.
Conspire.
But before the debate, I said, you know what? Trump tried to kill Biden with COVID, like in 2020. So I wouldn't drink or eat anything.
It's funny you say that. Because when we were looking at those cans of water with those Biden waters with no malarkey,
yeah.
After the fact, I was like, maybe they put some malarkey in his water.
I really, and I only said stuff like, in the rooms, like not publicly, because I'm like, it kind of sounds crazy, but just the difference in him at the debate versus I'm like literally right
An hour
after
later,
him at the Waffle House. And then later he's up till 2-3 in the morning. Then he's in fucking Raleigh, North Carolina, giving a speech, crushes it. And this, I was like, but there's no media headlines that Biden was counted out, but he got back up. Or
no,
not,
none
like,
of that. It's just drop out, straight to drop out. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But first of all, the debate performance, it just seemed tired. Like he seemed like I feel after a long day at work, or I can't talk. I can't finish a fucking sentence.
Yeah, some of us have, we get tired when we work our full-time job and then have to go do a performance thing for no additional compensation, such as a debate,
Right. So this idea that
go and get our kids, and I'm like, I can look however I look 100 days of the year. And that one day where I'm just like feeling like shit, I'm tired, and I go pick up my fucking kids. And it's like, man, I look like shit today.
Right.
And then the next day I'm back to myself.
Yeah.
But all they can talk about is how I look like shit that Thursday when I went to pick up Jeremy from school. And it's like,
yeah, come on, guys. Like this idea that President Biden needs to drop out of the presidential race because he needed a nap is fucking insane. We'll get back to that in just a second. Back to Trump being a pedophile. So we already knew that Trump was on Epstein's flight logs. I mean, that's been public information for years now. We've seen the videos of Trump partying with Epstein. The media's made no fuss about that. Now we have clear and convincing evidence that, as Kendrick would say, Trump is a freaky ass Nazi. He's a certified pedophile. Is getting zero media coverage. Something is wrong with the media. Like, I don't know what the problem is. Obviously, Fox News is not an option. That's a Murdoch entity. The New York Times.
Apparently neither is CNN.
Well, CNN was bought by a right-wing billionaire not too long ago, and the entire media complex,
the whole narrative is just skewed. Like, it's skewed, and they are
the Sinclair stations. They own local news everywhere. I don't know what the issue is where we can't get real coverage of actual issues or things that matter, and instead they're just doing butthurt emails to President Biden. I don't know what the issue is. But if you're listening to this podcast, cut that shit off. Just, you can't reward them with your time, your attention, your clicks, your views, your streams, because if they can continue to make money off of sabotaging our democracy and putting us in a dictatorship, they'll continue to do so because they care more about profits than they care about the state of affairs in America.
Well, they got 127 days of profits because if CNN doesn't think that they're on the chopping block, and MSNBC, I mean, Trump has publicly stated that he wants to take all Comcast stations, all NBC stations, which includes MSNBC, off the airwaves. We are 2 steps away from Trump TV.
I feel like we keep getting away from Trump being a pedophile. We're mainstream media now. I keep trying to talk about it, and you keep going another direction. But
okay, all right. So he's a fucking pedophile.
Trump is a certified pedophile.
There were many handwritten logs of the calls to and from Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, and then of course the flight logs, which showed, what did you say, 8? More than 8 flights.
I think
he's a pedophile and a rapist. So we should put those two together, because he is not just a pedophile, but he is also
an adjudicated rapist. Yes, I feel like that's some important information that the media also refuses to cover. I feel like if President Biden had been found liable in court for rape, that would be the biggest story on earth. But instead, like a 90-minute subpar debate has been dominating the news. But let's play a clip from former President, future dictator Trump's time in office.
Are there boats in this clip and electric?
There's sadly no boats in this clip, but let's play a clip from Trump saying that he won't release Epstein's documents.
Yes, let's.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would
I
you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
What an odd thing to say.
Yeah, it's so funny when you release the JFK files. Yeah, what about the Epstein files? I don't know about that, sir.
It's like, okay, maybe not.
that.
There's a lot of phony stuff.
Well, now you know why he wouldn't release the Epstein files, because he's all in that shit.
It will ruin a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, including his own. I feel like that was an admission of guilt. The second he's like, I don't know about that.
He's like, well, but everyone remember I was president in 2006? No, 2003. What year was this?
Oh, he's trying to get presidential immunity for being a pedophile for 20 years before he was president.
Well, he can be like Matt Gaetz and just ask for a blanket pardon.
Yeah. Nothing is more strange than that picture of him standing there with his kids right next to Epstein and the guy from the modeling agency,
right?
Just like glaring at his kids, looking at them like a fucking snack. It's some weird, creepy shit. I don't know how that doesn't get more coverage either, but again, we're trying to do the job that the media won't, I guess. I don't understand.
Hey, man, if you have to take your daughter to work day, but you're a sex trafficker, don't leave her out. And don't leave your son out. Just, there aren't enough opportunities for straight white sons of presidents.
Please don't take your kids to work if you're a sex trafficker.
Please don't take your kids to Epstein Island.
Please don't be a sex trafficker.
Well, the Fed sees Epstein Island, so you don't have to worry about
Carol.
that.
That is very fair.